I'm going to show you an actual concept that you can start using immediately to start clipping. And what I'm going to do without any further ado is go ahead and share my screen, and we're just going to have some fun with this thing. Okay, so you should be able to see YouTube. I'm on YouTube right now. Let's go ahead and search Alex Hormozi podcast. Okay, so when it comes to viral clipping, yesterday I talked about one of the big important things to be able to clip is going to be podcasts. So you can see here, Alex Hormozi, there's Ed Milet, Tom Bilyeu, Lewis Howes, Iced Coffee podcast. So you can kind of go to any one of these and search, and there's this podcast. And if you look, 1 million views, and it's 2 hours long. So there's probably so many good clips in that podcast. So once you find one, I'm going to show you a couple things you could do. Okay. First thing is you're kind of always looking to see if it has chapter markers. So these right here are chapter markers. They have these split into chapters. So let's go down here. Let's look at these chapter markers. Okay. So if you open up the description of a show, so at some point they put in these chapter markers here, right? So they have the intro, there's leads, there's getting customers, sales cycle, there's all this kind of stuff right here. Okay. So this is helpful. This information right here is going to kind of give me an idea of like what at least the podcast is about and where I might be able to find some stuff. Now, you could always just watch it. I don't want to tell you guys to have to spend an hour here, hour there, but to start with, I actually enjoy podcasts. I enjoy podcasts when I'm going out for a walk. I enjoy podcasts when I'm on the treadmill at the gym. I actually listen to podcasts quite frequently. And so one of the things I'll do is I'll listen to a podcast, and then when I hear something just like really, really, really powerful, I'll pause, and I'll know it's powerful because it'll get my attention. I'll actually pause the podcast, I'll break out my phone, and I will take a note in my phone, the time and what the topic is. I do this all the time. So I listen to podcasts all the time, or long videos all the time, and then I'll just kind of take little notes. So for example, I was listening to this one, and here are my notes. I'm looking at my note on my phone, and it just kind of says around the 6 minute mark, he starts talking about one-to-one, one-to-many, and a process of advertising. So what we're going to do is we're going to go over here to the 6 minute mark. Let me just listen and kind of see.
With a lot of the preconceived, I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? I had all these, I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. I'm
going to keep playing it a little bit longer, 30 seconds. I want you just to hear an example. Just imagine right now this is a solo clip.
One-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. Mm-hmm. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's to your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Mm-hmm. Anything at all. If a girl's I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? Mm-hmm. And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. And so then you're well, if those are the...
even right there. Now, and some of you might think, okay, he went left field with the line about the girls and advertising who they've slept with. But honestly, I kind of don't mind that because that might get some people talking in the comments anyways, right? That was about 1 minute, right? 6 to 7, the 6 minute something mark to the 7 minute mark. It's less than a minute. So that would be an example. In a 1 hour podcast, everything we just heard right there would be an example of a clip. If I want to clip that, there are a few ways to do it. Now, one of the most common ways to be able to clip would be to grab the YouTube URL. There's a bunch of different ways to grab a YouTube URL. You can hit the share button and just copy the link, right? But you want to grab the URL button and you want to use a tool called the 4K video downloader. So if you Google 4K video downloader, the one that you want is this one by Softonic. It has a green cloud logo on it. Kind of see it a little bit better if I see, not this one with the exclamation points. It's this one down here with the green cloud on it. When you click on this, it should recognize your computer. This one recognizes I have a Mac, and I'm going to download it for free. Now, when I download it for free, it's going to take me to a page to get me to try to buy an upgrade, but you don't need to. All you have to do is hit paste link, and it is now going to locate that video. It's going to show you the options you have. I'm just going to go ahead and choose high definition, download. Now, in the background, it's downloading this, and you'll see a little blue bar that kind of says how long it's downloading. So we're going to let this download in the background. So that's one option. I just use this tool for free. There's just no reason. You don't need to buy this. Okay, it has now saved it. I could just right click and show in Finder. I've downloaded the whole video. Okay, now you need a video editing tool. Now, the one that I'm going to use for this example is going to be CapCut. So essentially, you're going to get CapCut for free. You're going to download CapCut for free. You're going to go over here, download, and you're going to download it for Windows and Mac. Once you open up CapCut, you're going to come to a screen like this, and you're going to start a new project. And Sharon, okay. So you're going to start a new project, right? And there's going to be, over here on the left is where you're going to try to grab some clips. And so you're going to go to the 4K video downloader, and you're going to take that clip you downloaded, you're going to show it in folder, and then right there, you're going to take that, and you're going to drag it over here into import. It's going to be that simple. So here's the clip. So there's the clip. You just dragged it right over. And then this is kind of like your bin. This is where your files go. So we're going to drag it down here. Now, the only problem with it being here is that it is an hour and 5 minutes. We need to now create a clip out of this. And so in this example, I kind of was listening to it, and I noticed that around the 6 to 7 minute mark, there's a good 1 minute clip. So let's go over here. Let's name this. Let's name this Hormozy X Milet. And let's just call this one clip 1. Okay. So you got to name it something. So let's go over here and let's find that clip. So I'm going to go over to the plus button. I'm going to zoom in a little bit. And I see right here is about the 6 minute mark. So let's listen real quick for a good starting place. Let's listen together for a good starting place for where this clip could start.
Buy their stuff, not to buy it because that would be sales, but how to want to buy their stuff. And so in going through this, we made 2 4 boxes, and this took,
It's awesome.
100 iterations to get it here.
And last night, it's awesome.
It was really hard. It, like, as crazy as it sounds, I believe it. I came into it with a lot of the preconceived. I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? Like, I had all these, I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you could talk to people one-on-one.
I like it. Say after he took the breath, he kind of took a breath there, and I felt like that's the beginning of a good start. Remember, I don't need everything. So now I'm going to zoom in, and I'm going to kind of look for like somewhere around these breaths. You can see there's like a pause. Let's listen again.
It's crazy as it sounds, I believe it. I came into it with a lot of the preconceived. I was like, what about earned media? What about owned media? Like, I had all these, I had to deconstruct everything into simply, you can talk to people.
Like right there, he goes, you can talk to people. So let's make a cut right there. And what happens if I just delete all that? And then I go back to the beginning. Let's listen from here.
You can talk to people one-on-one, and you can talk to people one-to-many. And there are people who know who you are before you talk to them, and there are people who don't. And those are the 4 variables. So if you're one-to-one to friendlies, that's a warm reach out. If you're one-to-one to strangers, it's a cold reach out. If you're one-to-many to friends, it's when you post content. It's your audience who knows you. And if you're going one-to-many to people who don't know you, it's paid ads.
Gosh, that's good.
Okay. And so those are the only 4 ways that a person can let other people know about stuff. Anything at all. Like if a girl's like, I just slept with 6 guys, she's advertising what she did. She let people know about it, right? And so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. And so,
okay, I like that. Advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. So let's go back to where that was.
then you're like, well, if those are the only 4 things that, and so advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it.
Okay, so then advertising is the process of making known. That's how we define it. I'm zooming in, and I'm looking for the perfect endpoint.
Known. That's how we define it.
Okay, and it kind of takes a breath right there, and we're going to make another cut. Now, there's a lot of things we could do here. I'm going to go ahead and delete everything afterwards. Now, what I'm left with is I'm actually left with a 37-second clip.